200 mark as well.
Very good. And we're ready to go.
Fantastic. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us again. This is we had an English webinar on the 16th of December, which was our last one of 2020. And this is our first webinar of 2021. So we're featuring England. I, however, was meant to be in England to do this live, but because the properties are closed, I can't. But we will be featuring Tresenton, Ensley, the Star, the Newton, Somerset, and many others like the Grand in York. Again, trying to let people know that although London is fantastic and it's a wonderful destination to visit, that, you know, there's other properties outside of the main city that are really worth spending time in as well. So we're delighted that we have 5 fantastic presenters here with us today, and we will introduce them to you. And everyone will be sent a recording. Just to reconfirm, if you haven't registered, you know, send an email to rachel@adamsandbutler.com and she will send you a recording tomorrow. So should we kick off, Jill?
Yes, great. I think we'll start with Anne Wilson. Hi, Anne.
Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to this webinar and to Historic Royal Palaces. If you don't know Historic Royal Palaces, we're an independent charity that's responsible for 6 royal palaces as visitor attractions, places for exclusive tours and private events. Today I'm going to focus in on one in particular for you, and that is somewhere that I'm sure you've all heard of and maybe didn't realise you could visit, and that is Kensington Palace. You may be familiar with our chief curator, who certainly in the UK is a bit of a celebrity, and through the wonders of PBS is well known in the States as well, and that's Lucy Worsley. And I think, Gio, you've got a little video that you were going to show to introduce how you might plan a visit to Kensington Palace.
Perfect. I've got the video ready here. Let's start it.
Before your visit to Kensington Palace, I suggest that you learn the secret language of the fan. That'll help you communicate at court. Here are 2 really basic phrases to get you started. You don't want to nod or shake your head, that's old hat. To say yes, you tap your right cheek. And to say no, it's your left. The fan is a great way to break the ice at a party. To signal, I wish to speak to you, this is how you signal that you're available for conversation. Come and talk to me. In your left hand. And this is the more flirty option for getting to know somebody. This is the signal for desirous of your acquaintance. Got that? Now we're going to take things to the next level. It's going to get intense. This is how you say, I love you. This is how you say, follow me. In the right hand. But if you prefer to keep things platonic, then there's a signal for that too. You drop the fan. And now we're getting on to my favourite bit, how to reject somebody. You can let them down gently this way by signalling, I'm married. A slow, bored waft. This is a slightly harsher rejection. I wish to get rid of you, you tap the left ear. And if you've exhausted all the other options, this is the way definitively to get rid of somebody. You tell them, I hate you. And finally, how do you say goodbye? Well, it involves wiggling your pinky. Are you ready to put your skills to the test? The test will be set by 3 ladies who were painted on the King's Grand Staircase at Kensington Palace. What are they saying with their fans?
So now you know how to behave when you come to Kensington Palace. All you have to do is book. So you can visit during normal opening hours. So obviously we're not open at the moment, but regularly we're open 7 days a week, usually from 10 a.m. until 6 or 4 in the winter months. The palace is located right in the heart of Kensington Gardens on the west side of Hyde Park, so central London, and of course has been home to some very notable modern royals. So we are including, of course, Princess Diana, Princess Margaret, the Queen's sister, and indeed it is the current London residence of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and their family. But we show only their staterooms, the historic rooms that you had a glimpse of in Lucy's video there. So the King's state apartments dating back to Georgian times, the Queen's apartments, but it was also the birthplace of Queen Victoria. So movies like Young Victoria, that's where that story took place, where she first caught a glimpse of Prince Albert. And it was a love match, not a political match. So learn that story when you visit. It is also the home of Queen Anne. And if you've seen The Favourite, again, that is all based, those intrigues and those goings on were all based at Kensington Palace. So there's lots of themes. We can also arrange private exclusive tours first thing in the morning for the hour before we open. So again, Adams and Butler can arrange that with our expert explainers at the palace, and they can theme the tour to your client's requirements around those stories. And then lastly, we have the Royal Ceremonial Dress Collection that we as an organisation are responsible for. So again, we often have items of dress, whether it be historic or whether it be right through to some of the Diana dresses that we own on display. So the choice is endless. So do get in touch, and hopefully we can look after your guests and welcome them to the palaces very, very soon.
Thank you very much, Anne.
You're welcome.
Hi, that's fantastic. So thank you very much. And by the way, Marty, I just checked there. The new Polizzi property is the Star, and it is the one that they told me yesterday was opening in April. So thank you. And we'll have them on the next webinar as well. Giovanna, who are we on? Where we go to next?
We're going on to Mark.
So Mark can answer all those questions about the Cotswolds shops. Are they open at the moment?
Cotswold questions.
The short answer is no, sadly not. No, we're like the rest of England and all the 4 nations of the UK, sadly, we are in lockdown at the moment. The situation is that we will definitely be in lockdown until February 22nd. That is after half term for the schools here. But it's an ever moving position, to be honest with you. And we're expecting another update next week on the 13th to see what the future holds. We're currently, the hotels are closed, although I'm sat here in the reservations office. We are taking reservations from the 22nd of February, but with a view that may push on. And what Anthony was saying, March, yep, absolutely. I'm kind of in agreement with him there, and if I'm being very pessimistic, if I had a very bad day, I'd say Easter, the 4th of April, but we shall wait and see, basically. But yeah, so I'm speaking to you from the Farncombe estate, and what we are, so we are a 400-acre hill in the north of the Cotswolds. Now, our mission is to be the most memorable hill in the world. So on our hill, we have 3 properties. Dorney House Hotel at the top, which is a spa property. It dates back to the 16th century. It's an old farmhouse that's been lovingly converted and updated. In the middle of our hill, we have Foxhill Manor, which is just the weirdest hotel in the world. It's built around the private house hotel concept. So the idea is that you arrive there and your friends own this house and they've lent you the keys to it. So we have only 8 bedrooms there. So we do individual let and exclusive use. And the guys who are there to staff that, they're basically there to carry out every wish that you have, really. And that goes all the way through to the chefs who don't have a menu. They have a board of ingredients that they've got in, local, seasonal and fresh, and they will make up your menu with you when you arrive. And then we have the Fish Hotel, and that's the one I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about today. And I've got a little video from Tom, our general manager, who will explain a little bit more what we're about. If you've got that there, Gio, that'd be great.
Yeah, got it ready.
Hi there, I'm Tom and I'm General Manager at the Fish Hotel. The Fish is a 63-bedroom countryside retreat spread across the hillside of Farncombe Estate. There are a variety of room types available for our guests, including tree houses, which are perfect for couples and families alike, hilly huts that are nestled along the top of the hill with great views across 5 counties. There's also a hideaway hut, and I'm stood on the island of Boaty McBoatface. Paddling in the water behind me is my deputy Sam, who ably assists me in the running of the operation. The accommodation that we have is sort of spread out, and centred in the middle of the site is the lodge. The lodge houses our restaurant, which is called Hook by Martin Burge. It's a seafood-led offering. As well, we have a bar offering, we have lounges where we serve our afternoon tea, which is called Tipsy Tea. So rather than a sort of traditional fare, we serve tea-infused cocktails alongside scones, cakes and the like. The Fish is ideally located to explore the Cotswolds. We're on some excellent walking routes. The village of Broadway is just 20 minutes away across the fields. If you fancied going a bit further, we have bikes available for hire, which guests are welcome to take out for the full day or just a half day, depending on how far they'd like to go. We are surrounded by local attractions, a number of Cotswold towns and villages. Cotswold Gin Distillery is very local to us. Broadway Tower is 10-minute drive away. Cotswold Wildlife Park is ideal for a family day out, so we're very lucky to have so much on our doorstep.
Thank you. And you may all be delighted to hear that Sam, who was in the boat, is a lot better at running a hotel than he is rowing a boat. And we did eventually get him back to land as well with the duck. So Kenneth asked a really good question about rates. So just to kind of give you an idea, so the Fish for our entry-level medium rooms are priced from £170 bed and breakfast. If you want something in what we call internally the wooden stocks, so that's something like a hilly hut or a hideaway hut, you're looking at about from £250 for a hilly hut, £400 for a tree house. It's around there. But as Tom was saying, really what sets us apart, aside from all the facilities we have on the estate, it's also our location, which is just fantastically placed in the North Cotswolds to explore so much, whether you're coming as a couple, whether you're coming, with your family. There's so much to do locally. 45 minutes from us is Blenheim Palace. And 15 minutes on from that is Oxford. If you head south, Bath is about an hour and a half from us as well. And Stratford-upon-Avon, birthplace of Shakespeare, is 15-20 minutes from us as well. So there's a huge amount to do, easily commutable to London. And also with Birmingham Airport quite close to us, it's great if you want to tie it up with a trip to Europe, Ireland, or anywhere else really. So hopefully that's given you a good idea of who we are and what we are. Obviously, if there's any questions, be more than happy to answer them.
And Mark, when I stayed there, I thought the manor was particularly suited as an exclusive use property.
It is. We do, in a normal year, if I can remember what one of those are, about a third of our business is exclusive use there. So buyouts for anniversaries, birthdays, family get-togethers. At least once a year, we'll have a family come from the US and take the house for a week. To give you an idea, you're looking at around £5,000 a night for exclusive buyout, bed and breakfast as well. And just looking through the chat, thank you very much for the endorsement, Kathy. Kathy joined us not that long ago. It was lovely to welcome her, and hopefully see you again soon.
There was a comment there as well about Cotswolds. What we tend to suggest to clients as well is you can finish the Cotswolds in Oxford and it's only 45 minutes to the Heathrow. You don't have to backtrack into the city. And likewise, you can start it in Bath and also Bristol is an amazing airport for the Cotswolds, because by the time you arrive, you're sort of in your car and gone. So it's one that we love using as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thanks very much, Mark. So Gio, where are we off to next?
We're off to Rebecca. Hi,
Wonderful.
Rebecca.
Hello everybody. Thank you. So yes, so I'm Rebecca. I'm sales manager for the Langley. The Langley is actually quite a new property to the market and to the five-star market, certainly. We opened just in June 2019. So we have had an interesting 2 years or year and a half, certainly, but no, it's wonderful to join you all here this afternoon and today, and I'm delighted to share a little insight into our beautiful luxury retreat with a video. If I may, Gio, play that first. That will give everybody a good insight. Thank you. So welcome back, everybody. So hopefully that's immersed you all a little bit more into the Langleys. So I will answer some questions. I can see some questions coming up, but just to kind of give you a little bit of an overview as well of the Langley, because it does have long history. It was actually, as she once said, once the former home of the 3rd Duke of Marlborough. So back in 1738, he did reside there. This was his former home, and he used it as his hunting lodge, and the whole surrounding parkland he used as his estate, where he used to do all of his country pursuits, his shooting and hunting in particular. So lots of history to the house in terms of the connection with the Marlborough family. And it was a 6-year restoration, so it was taken on in a very sorry state back in 2014, and it was a 6-year restoration. So we opened in the summer of 2019 as a 5-star luxury property. So it's a good sort of 6-year restoration, which is why maybe it's sort of just, people may not have heard of it as yet, still fairly new to that 5-star market. Just to give you a little bit of a background as well, lots of the hotel's interior design very much carefully balances the history of the building, allowing lots of original features to shine. You may have seen some snippets there. We've got a beautiful Victorian floor, mosaic floor as you enter the house. That's the original floor. We've got 20 fireplaces in total in the main house. We've got a beautiful 200-year-old bookcase in our Churchill bar, and a lovely big grand staircase. So we managed to restore lots of the original features, and obviously restore how it was as much as we could when the Marlborough family did reside there. We've got 41 bedrooms in total. They're split across the main house and the brew house, so they're divided between two sort of buildings. The main house, we have 20 bedrooms, and including in those 20 we have 17 suites, so very sort of toppy en suites, and a beautiful presidential suite as well, which is a 3-bedroom presidential suite with a stunning lounge. So that's very popular as well for larger families. And we have the brew house, which is just opposite the main house. That used to be where the family used to brew their own ale. And we have 21 bedrooms in there. So again, that's a beautiful 18th century building. And it's actually some of the original brewing equipment is still there, so that can be seen. So guests certainly staying in the brew house do get very excited when they see that. And you'll see as well from the video that the grounds and the acres that we're surrounded in, so 150 acres of parkland. It's actually Langley Park that we're located in. And even the parkland does pay tribute to the Marlborough family with lots of sort of reference to what he used to do in the park as well. And you saw an image there of Cedar Restaurant, so that's our main restaurant. You saw the spa as well. So it's the spa really does set the scene for pure relaxation and indulgence. So, you know, overall, the Langley really is one of the most stunning 5-star additions to come to the countryside, to come outside of London. We're just 40 minutes from central London. We're just 20 minutes from Heathrow, London Heathrow, and about 7 miles from Windsor. So a guests coming to obviously combine trips to Windsor Castle, we're only about 7 miles away from Windsor as well. So hopefully that does provide a little bit of an insight. I look forward to certainly working with everybody and welcoming your guests through our doors again very, very, very soon, as soon as we can. We will be reopening, and look forward to the year ahead, and certainly welcoming your guests. So please do think of us.
Rebecca, people need a sense of place. So like, I always think of it more as being beside the Chiltern Hills in a way, but it's, as you said, it's 40 minutes from London. Can you give people a sense of, you know, what towns are nearby, etc.? And also there was a question there about the horses. High Wycombe is there as well, isn't it?
So sorry, could you say that? Could you repeat that again? Sorry.
Can you mention the towns that are near?
The towns. Yeah. Yes. So Windsor. So Windsor is literally about 10 minutes drive. So Windsor Castle. So that's very famous. So you know the Queen residing there at the moment. So Windsor Castle, very much a tourist destination place. So about 10 minutes away from Windsor. Other areas nearby, I would say, sort of Henley, Cookham, Marlow, those sorts, so all down by sort of the River Thames. So you've kind of got the home counties outside of London. You've got Berkshire, Hampshire, Buckinghamshire. So we sit in Buckinghamshire.
And then there was a question about horses. Do you have horses on site?
We don't have horses on site, but we do work with, again, there's a lot of sort of stables nearby, Windsor as well, and the Guards Club, the Polo Club. So we can provide, or we can certainly do horse riding trips if that was something. But there's farmland around the area. So you can certainly see horses, but they're not ours to certainly ride. But we can organise that, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Lots of country pursuits and family activities we can organise, definitely. Brilliant.
Oh, another question there, golf?
No golf on site, but the nearest golf is literally about 2 miles away in Stoke Poges. There's 2 golf courses. So again, we've got very good connections with the golf, but just not on site, but very nearby.
Yeah. And then there's a question there, any sustainable practices? Do you have any organic farming or anything on the estate, or?
We want to do that, certainly. That was obviously being kind of just opened in the summer of 2019. So we had a good sort of couple of months operating, and then unfortunately last year that it was on the agenda, but it didn't quite happen that way. So absolutely watch this space. We want to have our own sort of kitchen garden, organic, and sort of produce that we will want to be doing ourselves. So yes.
And do you want to mention just your sister property, which you may be coming on a later webinar to talk about?
Yes, please. So our sister property is the Wellesley in Knightsbridge in London. So that's kind of where it did begin for our owner. So he's also got the Wellesley in Knightsbridge. So that's been a property for 10 years now. So that's a 5-star as well, 5-star luxury property, 36 bedrooms. That's right on Hyde Park Corner, and that's our sister property. And it'll be wonderful to do some nice combinations with the city and also with the country property as well.
And even for short breaks, that'd be fantastic as an add-on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or to add on as an a before or after with Scotland or Ireland or wherever.
Absolutely.
An idea of the rack rate of the rooms, entry level, low and high season?
Absolutely. So entry level, sort of, I would say sort of low season, really anything sort of from 355, 365 upwards. And anything sort of, high season, you're potentially looking at sort of the early 400s, 425, something like that. But certainly, it can be flexible for sure, depending on length of stay and everything else.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Rebecca. And we look forward to welcoming you back on a future webinar.
Please do. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So Gio.
And now we're going to Sarah at the Four Seasons.
Hi everybody, how are we? Nice to see some familiar names on the list, and hope everyone is doing well and bearing with this lockdown. So my name's Sarah Truman. I'm the Director of Sales for the UK collection of Four Seasons. So I look after Four Seasons Park Lane, 10 Trinity Square, both in London, and then Hampshire in the English country side, which is behind me here. And I think as the team have mentioned, hi Celeste, I think as the team have mentioned, London, the hotels there, 10 Trinity Square is closed, Park Lane is still open, although we're limited on which guests we can welcome at this time. But if you have any London needs, then please let me know, we're happy to help and do what we can. Hampshire has actually had a great year in 2020 with staycations post the big lockdown we had. It's very popular with UK leisure market and families in particular. It's quite big for Country House. We've heard a lot about some beautiful places, and we have 133 rooms, so it's actually quite a significant property set on 500 acres. It was opened in 2005, so I'm sure a lot of you have worked with it and know it through the years. Our big news, I guess we've used this opportunity to do a lot of renovations, so all the bedrooms have been done. So if anyone's been in the last couple of years, they'll probably say that they were needed, and I think that is correct. So when we have some nice images, we'll put them up and things, but they're beautiful, elegant, still quite classic English style, but really big rooms. Every room pretty much has a sofa bed, lots of connecting options, some really great 2-bedroom suites, beautiful new presidential suite as well. So in terms of location, we are, it's a similar location. I would say we're an hour and a half from central London, 40 minutes from Heathrow. but on the way down to Southampton. So it's traditionally worked really well as a pre and post cruise hotel, or a lot of people come there on arrival and maybe get over the jet lag and then come into London for a couple of days and stay at one of the hotels there. So it works well for both. Lots to do on site, you know, with our acreage. We have a lot of facilities. Somebody called us the Gleneagles of England, which I think is quite accurate. We'll take that one. So we have a huge equestrian centre. Somebody was asking about horses. We have 16 of them actually, including 2 beautiful Shetland ponies. And it's all run by Four Seasons. So, you know, incredible service and great standards. And we accept riders from about 4 years old, I think it is. And lots of acreage.
Tell me the name.
Explore.
Where is what's the name of the property? I know it's the Four Seasons. What town?
Four Seasons, Hampshire, we call it. It's in a village called Dogmersfield, which is near to the town of Fleet in Hampshire, which is about an hour and a half outside London. So close to Guildford, that's like a near place. Farnborough is the next town close to us. So, you know, quite popular around the air shows and some of the business that's there. But, you know, you can explore, you can go to Bath almost for the day. People do a sort of loop through Bath and Stonehenge from here, or across to Windsor. We have good relationships with Highclere Castle, which I'm sure you may have heard of. So, you know, lots to do with Four Seasons as a base. Yeah, so on our 500 acres, we have falconry, which we do privately. So if you have a family group that's staying with us, they can privately walk out and do the falconry. We have clay pigeon shooting, which is very popular, not running at the time being with the COVID restrictions. We have mountain bikes, the horses, which I've mentioned. We have a canal that runs through the grounds where we have a barge in the summer that takes people sort of down to the pub and back again. We have fishing. And recently we've partnered with Swarovski, the kind of crystal people, and they have amazing like binoculars, and we do bird watching, and they've identified about 50 species of birds or something, or 50 varieties of birds. So that's a fun one if anybody's interested in bird watching. So I do have a short video, which is hopefully sets the scene and you see the property a little bit, and it's voiced by the team at the hotel. So, you know, some really great personalities that are happy to share it.
Perfect, I've got it ready.
Welcome to Four Seasons Hotel Hampshire.
It's the quintessential English countryside.
Coming up the driveway on your first visit here, you're almost brought to tears. It's that incredible.
There is a tremendous amount of history that goes with this building, right the way back to King John and the Magna Carta. It's almost a country fair atmosphere with people all over the estate doing lots of different activities.
We have activities on offer here that give you the feeling that you're British royalty, really.
It's just the most unique place to come and ride, whether you ride up to the front of the manor house and imagine you're in a Jane Austen novel. And then when the kids say they love it, you try and persuade the parents that they need to buy a pony now.
I had a lovely, lovely guest one day, and we went out for a hawk walk. He said, "I've got all of these colours. It's just a total assault on the senses."
It really does make you feel special. You feel like you're in a completely different world. You feel like you're away from the rest of civilization, and you really do have this property for yourself.
And it's nice that people have got the time to be able to just stop, to pause and watch what's going on. And for me, that moment in time is just absolute magic.
There we go. So that gives you a good overview. I forgot to mention we have a children's pool, Sharky's Reef. You just saw a little girl slide down. I mean, that's an incredible facility. And the good thing about that, it's taken a lot of the children that we have out from the adult pool. So you get a good sort of separation there. The history someone mentioned, I mean, it's listed, the estate is listed in the Domesday Book, which is about 1,000 years of history. The building itself, the manor house, which you see behind me, is 18th century. So that's sort of during the 1700s. And it was built, like many of the hotels and things, as a country house. And now we call it the Georgian manor house. So Probably some of my favorite rooms are in there, actually. I think you get a really great sense of place when you stay in that building. But there's 3 other buildings and lots of room categories. So if you ever have questions, then let me know. There's lots of, when you look in the GDS or on our, our sites and things, there's a lot to see. So, feel free to get in touch if you want to talk through some options with me or the reservations team. We don't have golf, unfortunately, Phoebe, but we have a local golf course right next door, which, we can arrange golf with. I say next door, it's about 5 minutes away. Anything else I've missed on the questions? I don't think so. So yeah, nice to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks a million, Sarah. Gio, I'm wondering, I just brought up Google Maps and have the 3 last properties there. Should we show it very quickly? Should I share the screen just so people have an idea? Oh my God, I've forgotten how to share screen here. Yeah, I've got it. So hold on. Can you see the map there? So you have the 4 seasons here where the red circle is. Can people see the map on this? Yeah.
And now, yes.
Okay, so this is where the 4 seasons is. Here is where should be where the Langley.
Sorry, that's not us. We're out. The one the furthest away one is the 4 seasons.
Sorry. So the Langley. I'm trying to see where so you're here, the Langley, the 4 seasons.
No, we're down there by Fleet Farnborough. See, it's got 1 hour 16 minutes, and you go down to the bottom. That red dot's us. Near Basingstoke, Farnham, Aldershot.
Oh, do you know what? I did Dormy House the wrong way. I was doing Dormy House in the Cotswolds and I came up the wrong one.
Oh, yeah. Wembley.
Jesus, yeah. So, Dormy House, Cotswolds. I've got Farncombe. I don't think it came up for me earlier there. Did it? No, that's not happening. It's not moving.
Or do Broadway. That's probably a better one, isn't it?
Correct now. Yes.
It's not changing the map. It's not helping.
But you're right about the Langley. It's the Langley's right by the Windsor.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just the map isn't working. Okay. I thought that was a good idea.
You just
we're off and to the left a bit.
And by the way,
just reload.
Sorry?
You reload.
I see what you're saying up here.
Yeah, because you've got the correct Dormy House now.
There, perfect.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So Langley, you can see it now, the 4 seasons, and then the Cotswolds. If I take that away, it's going to, so I'll just pull that over there. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Mark, I don't know, did you mention the Dormy House much during when you were presenting?
Not a huge amount. No, we were talking mainly about the fish today, but yeah. It's all top of the hill. It's an old farmhouse that the family who own the estate have owned since the mid-70s. It used to belong to the golf club next door, which we don't own, but we're very good friends with. And before that, it was a farm from the mid-17th century. And the hotel, as I said, has been around since the 70s, but in 2012 it was closed for a year, and a £10 million project was launched to completely recreate it and add the spa that's there now as well. And since we've opened the doors, we've been winning awards, including SH Best Hotel of the Year 2013-14.
Yeah, no, because our clients love it when they travel, especially people on the self-drive. They really adore it. So I hope that gives people a better idea of the situation. And you can see the Langley and the 4 Seasons aren't far from London at all. So I'm going to stop sharing. There, perfect.
Now we're going into London City with Anthony.
Now we're going to London, yeah.
Oh, you're muted, Anthony.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Anthony, and I am from the Montague on the Gardens Hotel, which is part of the Red Carnation Hotel collection. It's such a pleasure to have you here, or have you on my screen. The background is actually what I'm going to be focusing on today, but a little bit about the Montague. The Montague is actually a series of townhouses, and one of the things that really sets us apart from a lot of the hotels in central London is its beautiful views and access to the private gardens that you see behind me, which are the Bedford Estate Gardens. So you kind of have that feel of the countryside in central London. And so from our hotel, you have access to some of the major landmarks like the British Museum, which is situated right next door to me, to shopping along Oxford Street, to Covent Gardens, and of course, the well-known theatre district at the West End. So to introduce to all the wonderful things that we get up to on our outdoor spaces at the hotel, that includes a little bit of a festive, there's also a little festive twist that we bring in from sort of late November up until January, and then in the summertime. So watch out for those. And to introduce those areas of the hotel, my general manager will be doing the presentation. So Gio, if you can press play, that would be great.
Perfect. I've got it ready. Here we go.
Here we are outside the Montague front entrance, a Grade 2 listed Georgian building which is formed and merged together at 9 individual townhouses. And as you can see, the hotel is dressed up in a festive coat for the holiday season. One thing I'd like to point out as well, whilst we're here, that building you can see on the corner there is the actual British Museum. But anyway, let's go and have a look inside and see those stunning spaces that we have in the hotel. Hi JJ, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Warm welcome to the Montague.
Here we are in our Leopard Bar Terrace, my personal favourite room in the whole hotel, and the reason for that clearly is those stunning gardens that we back onto. And as a hotel, we're also extremely lucky that half of our bedrooms also overlook these gardens. And it's amazing sitting here, it feels like you're in the countryside, and that's why I always refer to this hotel as a countryside hotel in the centre of London. Our guests are out all day in the hustle and bustle of London, sightseeing, shopping, and then in the evening they come back here in this tranquil setting. What a real treat. I'm going to show you our small conservatory now. And this is the room where we serve our traditional afternoon tea. And for me, it is the perfect room with the lovely natural daylight coming through this conservatory roof, and of course, these peaceful gardens at the back. And I actually have a history fact about afternoon tea for you. Those gardens belong to the Duke of Bedford. And the Dukes of Bedford in history owned most of the lands in Bloomsbury. And Anna, the Duchess of Bedford, in 1840, she was a long-line friend of Queen Victoria. She actually invented the ritual of afternoon tea. And the current Duchess of Bedford, the Dowager of Bedford, she still lives in that house opposite the Square Gardens. So we can actually say that afternoon tea has been invented here. Let's go through to our garden terrace now. And we're very blessed at the Montague to have several garden terraces overlooking the gardens. And this is probably our most versatile terrace, because during the summer we serve most of our meals here on this terrace. And during the winter, as you can see, we turn these around into a snug log cabin. There's one thing I also wanted to point out to you. If you look into the gardens at the back there, you can see 2 beehives. Yes, we own our own beehives. And this is a sustainable project that we started 2 years ago, and we're very, very proud to support the local bee population. And even more important, we can offer our guests our own honey. This is the best part of my job. I have to pre-taste every single drink in the house. Cheers. Well, welcome to our ski lodge, and this is one of our seasonal pop-up bars here at the Montague, and this is where we become quite famous for. Every winter we erect this alpine winter lodge. You can see a lovely fireplace there, snug rugs, we have a lot of garlands here, and a lot of fairy lights. We even have a life-size snowman and a reindeer. And there's one thing I can guarantee, it always snows in Bloomsbury, as you can see. And here we are with Everett, our food and beverage manager. How are you?
I'm fantastic today.
And how long have you been with us, Everett?
I'm 11 years with the company now.
Oh, that's amazing. When people visit the ski lodge, Everett, what can they expect from a beverage point of view?
Oh, they get our amazing mulled white wine, our delicious hot chocolate, our festive flavoured vodkas.
And what's your personal favourite?
Oh, that's an easy one. My personal favourite is the mulled white wine that's designed by myself.
Oh, of course, it's an easy one. But the ski lodge is clearly not our only pop-up bar at Montague, because during the summer, believe it or or not, we turn this space into a Hawaiian beach bar. We throw 3 tons of sand on the floor, we have a thatched roof, we have surfboards, we have a bar, and we even have a life-size jet ski on the roof.
Oh wait, don't forget, cocktails in coconuts.
Cocktails in coconuts, absolutely. And also during the spring and the autumn, we have our 3rd pop-up experience, and this is called Mix It. And this is a 2-hour interactive cocktail making class with one of our expert mixologists, and it's great fun. Now, every time people ask me, Dirk, why should we book people in the Montague? And I have 4 reasons for that. Number 1 is location, location, location. Number 2 is the people, the amazing people you've met on my tour on the way. Number 3 is those stunning spaces that all overlook these peaceful gardens. And number 4 is fun, 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 as you can see. Now, we're gonna wrap up here, and cheers.
Cheers.
There you go.
we had a lot of fun shooting that video, and so that that video that you've just seen is actually an excerpt from a much longer presentation, which we'd be more than happy to share with you through Geo. I just saw some questions in the chat, and I thought I'd answer them. Yes, you have access to the gardens. The gardens are entirely private, which is great for our guests because it just means that there's real tranquility. You don't have all the office workers going in on their lunch times and occupying all that space. We can also organize some wonderful things like private picnics. So this is almost like a butler served picnic out on the lawns of the gardens, and of course do wonderful events through that partnership that we have with the estate. Dirk Krokard is the gentleman that was presenting. He's our general manager, and I've had the pleasure of working with him for the last almost 7 years. I've been with the company for close to 18 years in total, and I know that Dirk has been with Red Carnation Hotels for about he's gonna kill me if I tell you the exact number, but it's around almost 20 years. He looks very young for his age. And in terms of, but actually that's not too dissimilar with most of our senior teams and our a lot of our colleagues. A lot of us are longstanding employees, and we're more of a family, and it really shows in the level of service and that we provide our guests. In terms of rates, during the quieter seasons, you can be looking at anything from about £180, and then towards the higher demand times, and you're looking at around £350 for a queen room. I did spot a question about townhouse. Oh, can we please get an idea of rates and occupancy limits for townhouses? Townhouses, so the hotel is actually made up of 9 townhouses who were previously homes, but if you're looking for something for a large family who perhaps are traveling together, or maybe a small group of individuals, then we can certainly cater to that. We have a stunning 3-bedroom luxury apartment that is entirely self-contained with its own street side access entrance and its own kitchen, so perfect. In fact, we've just had a family stay for a month over the Christmas period, and they left just before lockdown was announced to go back to Mexico, and they had a wonderful stay with us. So I hope that answers your question.
You're on mute, Siobhan.
I'm doing what I give out to everyone else for. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. By the way, Anthony, I've just remembered it's Mike Myers.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
We were just talking earlier about the new property that just opened in December, a week before I left Africa.
Kijera, yes.
A week after I left Africa, yeah. So we'll be hoping to feature them soon on. That's a new property in Botswana. So that's great. So that's, Gio, have we actually finished in time for the first time ever since April last year?
Yes, we've got 3 more minutes if anyone has any questions. I think there was lots of great questions there. So a lot of the hosts have already answered them, but if anyone has anything else that they want to ask, everyone's still here and still available to answer any questions you have. You can either unmute yourself and ask, or you can type it there in the comment box.
And just before everyone signs off, just to thank Gio as well for all the work she puts into these webinars, and for Jamie, our golf specialist, who was looking after the, the admitting people today, because we prefer not to have a password because it's so difficult. For some people, things don't always go according to plan, so we always admit them. And for Rachel as well, on her day off, helping us out tonight. Probably doing this from our bed under her duvet.
Thank you, Rachel.
I just wanted to say thank you for all the wonderful information, but something that I've been an agent a while, and we recently relocated, and I found this book from 1996, Johan's Recommended Hotels in Great Britain and Ireland. And it has been such a pleasure going through the book and finding stately homes that I was not familiar with, but it just goes back to what a brochure and a catalog like this will do, and to see some of the renovations in these homes that are still in service after all these years. It's like finding a little gold mine. So I appreciate it. And we've got clients that appreciate that type of accommodations.
Brilliant. We're glad you enjoyed them, because we always try and get interesting properties and not just the ones that everyone knows. And sometimes it's nice to revisit a property that we all think we know, and become reacquainted with it, especially when things change and everything like that. So Gio, I think if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up and we'll put it on record that we finished on time once.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone who joined and all the participants. And we'll be doing another one in Ireland probably next week, and then a special one on golf in Ireland the following week. So stay tuned. We'll be sending out the information shortly.
And then Northern Ireland, I think, at the end of the month, and an African one. Yeah. Brilliant. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to the wonderful presenters as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.